What's up everyone on the internet? Thank you for making this video party. I'm so excited to upload this one for you guys because we're finally in October, which means it is time to take a look at some horror films. Last year we took a look at some monster movies, so I figured why not this year, let's talk about zombies. I'm pretty sure that most of you have had this conversation with your group of buddies where someone always asks this one question: if the zombie apocalypse ever happened, how long do you think you could survive? Well, we'll talk about that after we take a look at the 2013 zombie film World War Z. So like I said, this movie came out back in 2013. It's actually based on a book that talks about the war between humanity and the undead. Now, one of the things I liked about the film was how it all starts. The moment you hear that piano play during the opening credits sequence, you get a sense of eerie uncertainty as you see certain images flash left and right that sort of foreshadow certain elements of how these zombies are going to be portrayed in this film. In that opening sequence, we do see several images of dense populations, showing us that it is very easy for a virus to quickly spread. Speaking of viruses, we also do see certain images of cells and bacteria, which are quite common in zombie films. And some other images that also stand out are that of animals suffering from rabies, which also give us a good idea of how these zombies are going to behave. All these things that you're seeing during the opening sequence are meant to give you some subliminal messages in order to set you up for this thriller story. So as the movie starts, we are introduced to Brad Pitt's character Jerry Lane, who was once a United Nations investigator who specialized in getting in and out of foreign countries, but is now a family man. Anyway, one of the things I really liked about this movie is how quick the zombie apocalypse starts. It's one of those things that is so sudden where it quickly becomes a situation where you have to act on instinct, and it is here where we see Jerry act very quickly in order to get his family out of danger. And it is right here where we are introduced to these zombies who are very different from how we've seen zombies before. For starters, these things can run as fast as Olympic sprinters. Forget The Walking Dead, I'm more afraid of the running corpses. I remember when I first saw this movie in theaters and watched those zombies just run across the screen, I was like, holy crap. And the amount of time it takes to fully turn is unbelievable, as it at least takes 12 seconds to become a zombie. Now, one of the biggest things that is different about these zombies is how they interact with these humans. Throughout the movie, we see these zombies act more like a virus rather than flesh-eating monsters, as their overall goal is to spread their virus to every living creature. And we see this in several occasions where we watch these zombies just run, bite, run, and let the bitten person become a zombie. Which is a bit disappointing given how we see zombies as these flesh-eating monsters that'll just rip and tear people into bits, and the only way you become a zombie is if you get bit and somehow manage to escape. And because the transformation is so quick, you don't get those last emotional moments when you watch a character slowly lose their humanity before becoming a zombie. But the movie is still fun to watch. Throughout the film, we watch Jerry travel to several countries in order to find out where the virus originated, because if we can find out where and how this virus started, we can start developing a cure, which I thought was a very interesting concept given how most zombie films we never learn about the origins of the zombie outbreak. And in most zombie films, we mostly follow just random civilians trying to survive the zombie apocalypse for as long as possible. But here, we're watching this story unfold in front of the eyes of a United Nations agent with a clear motive in mind. Go to one country, find about the origin. If not, move to the next country. And going back to the zombies, one of the other things that also makes them very different is how coordinated they are. What I mean by that is how these zombies almost act like ants crawling over a dead carcass when you see these things just pile over one another in order to get over large structures and spread their virus. That's pretty crazy because we've never seen zombie hordes act like this way before, and watching them crawl on top of one another in order to take down a helicopter, that was pretty cool. So even though I enjoyed most of the film, there are still some moments where I'm kind of scratching my head and I'm like, wait a minute, there's no way you'd survive that. What I'm talking about is the airplane scene where someone thought it was a good idea to throw a grenade inside a plane that is thousands of feet in the air and is filled with zombies, and yet still be able to walk away from the crash. That is plot armor at its finest. But anyway, what was once the search for the zombie cure is now the discovery of zombie camouflage, wherein people can now avoid detection by these zombies and fight back. And by the time the war in World War Z starts, the movie ends. Which left a very bitter taste in my mouth, knowing that this movie didn't do too well at the box office, and the chances for a potential sequel where we could see the war between humans and zombies just ran off with the undead. But this ultimately led me into reading the book, and I gotta tell you, this is a lot better than the movie. For starters, this book acts almost like a journal / entry log as you read through and learn about the different accounts from different people who survived the whole apocalypse. And the way this book is written, it does not feel like it was written by the author, more like it was written by someone who survived the whole war. Here's an example from page 1, and it says, "This record of the greatest conflict in human history owes its genesis to a much smaller, much more personal conflict between me and the chairperson of the United Nations Post-War Commission report. So if anything, if you like horror stories or if you're a big fan of zombies and can't get enough of them, I highly recommend you read this book." Audible, if you want me to sponsor you, I would happily glad to. But going back to what I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if the World War Z zombie apocalypse broke out right now, do you think you could survive it? For me, hell no. Are you kidding me? I can't run 5 blocks without losing my breath. How am I supposed to outrun these Olympic sprinting zombies? I will say though that at least these aren't the kind of zombies that'll rip you apart. They'll just bite you and then move on. So that's something to not worry about. Well, that's going to do it for this video, guys. That was my overall view for World War Z. If you like what you saw, click the subscribe button so you can always update from this channel. I'll see you next time with a brand new video. Bye-bye.